Hello, I'm Tyler Corrington, and today I'll be doing a demonstrative speech on how to saddle a horse. First thing, you need a few key things. A brush, a saddle pad, a saddle, and a bridle. Now, have you ever watched somebody saddle a horse and thought, man, that just looks easy, but then tried it and realized that there is a process to it and it isn't just something that you can just snap your fingers and do? It's something that I've done a lot. I grew up around horses and worked on various ranches and saddled and unsaddled a lot of horses over the years. And it's something that, it might come in handy to have that knowledge someday. So the three main points are the brushing, the saddle pad, the saddle, and then the bridle. So we'll start by brushing your horse. Brushing them, it gets the dirt off their back. Because if you ride one and they get sweaty under the saddle pad, that'll eventually turn into mud and make it uncomfortable for your horse. And then you want to brush under here where the cinch goes, because there could be some sort of a burr or piece of dirt that when you cinch them up, it'll irritate your horse and make them uncomfortable. And it also just makes your horse look good. So you start by brushing, and then you get the saddle pad. And it goes on a certain way. This leather piece goes towards the front because that's what your cinches run over. So you throw that on gently, adjust it to where it's even, and then you're ready for the saddle. So you walk up to your horse, gently, just so you don't startle them. Kind of pet them, let them know it's coming. And then just in one swift motion, you just toss that up there. That wasn't so swift. Kind of adjust that to where it looks like it's in the right spot. You gotta walk behind your horse, undo your cinches, so you pet their butt and let them know you're going behind them. When you get to this side, you undo your cinches where they were tied up. Let those hang. Make sure your breast collar's facing the correct way. You kind of check and make sure that the middle of your cinch is going to the middle of their chest. So now that that's all hanging straight and smooth, you walk back around your horse. Get your latigo ready. Rub your hand down their chest to let them know you're coming to grab your cinch. Then grab your latigo, go through your cinch, back through your D-ring, and then back through your cinch, and then just kind of get it snug. You don't want it tight while they're standing here, just to where your saddle's not going to move if he moves. Same thing, let them know you're coming, back cinch. You want to always make sure to get your back cinch after your front cinch. Because if you were to get your back cinch first, have that hooked up and not have your front cinch hooked up, and your horse spooks or something, the saddle can roll on them, but isn't going to come off of them. So that's going to scare them more. They might run off, have a heck of a wreck. It's going to potentially injure your horse and more than likely tear up your saddle. So that's why you always do the front cinch first. Then you kind of reach around. Let them know you reach around their chest. Let them know you're coming to get that breast collar, which this is made for, like if you're roping stuff and pulling it, it'll keep your saddle from sliding back. So you just buckle that up to where it fits the horse comfortably, is centered in the front of their chest. Do that, and then you grab this snap, and it goes between their front legs to a little mini D-ring that's in the middle of your cinch, and hook that up. So now you're saddled, and it's time to put the bridle on. So first things first, I always let my bridle out as far as I can. It's just so if you get the bridle in the bit in the horse's mouth and you go to get it over their ears and it's too tight, then you either got to start over or you try to get it on anyways and it irritates them, so it's just easy to let it out whole way. Next, I always take and I toss my reins over their neck, get it right there, so if they do try to walk off while I'm doing this, I have control of them. Then you take the halter off. Now we take my left hand, switch it to my right hand, and then use my left thumb to open their mouth and get the bit in. Then gently slide it over one ear, slide it over the other ear. Then you gotta fix their manes so they look good. And then you readjust your bridle, which sometimes they're a little tight, but you don't wanna wrench on it, so you don't jerk and hit your horse in the face. So you get that adjusted through its keeper. This is called a throat latch, just to make sure your bridle doesn't slip off their head. Hook that up. Now you're ready to go. Before you get on, you don't ever want to tighten your horse up all the way while you're standing there. So you kind of walk him off a little bit, then tighten your cinch, and then maybe even walk him around a little bit more to loosen him up before you get on him. But other than that, that's basically it. To break it back down into the three main points is the brushing, the saddle pad, the saddling, and then putting the bridle on. So I hope this comes in helpful and useful for you guys someday, and thanks for listening.